Welcome back from that short break, and this is still Sunrise at Sea right here at CTV, and we're still in our views segment today, and now we are joined by Counsel Daniel Angualia from Daniel Angualia Advocates, and he is a High Court and Court of Appeal and Supreme Court of Uganda counsel. He specializes in divorce law and handles several divorce cases. Good morning, counsel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
You're welcome.
So, counsel, today our conversation is centered around marriage and divorce laws in Uganda. And what inspired this conversation is the controversial relationship between Pastor Bujingo and his lady, who is Susan, who he, recently, actually earlier this week on Tuesday, did an introduction ceremony with. So, the laws of the land do say that customary marriage, church marriages, civil marriages are all legal by law, but what is really confusing people and what people need to know, and what I also really want to know, is that if the customary marriages are legal, why do the church marriages dismiss any other type of marriage? Because he's still legally married to his estranged wife. So I was just wanted to give that as an example to focus our topic of discussion today.
Okay, thank you. I think first of all, you need to understand the meaning of marriage.
Yes.
It's very important. By simple definition, marriage is a contractual relationship between a man and a woman to live together as husband and wife. Mm-hmm. The laws of Uganda provide for different forms of marriage. That is the church marriage, the one you celebrated by a licensed church official, maybe a pastor, priest, whichever. Then we have the civil marriage, which is conducted before the register of marriages, or in this case could be the cow of a given district. We have the customary marriage, we have the Hindu marriage, the Islamic marriage. All those marriages have different principles, legal principles, which guide them. So if you choose to go by civil marriage, then that be it. You have to abide by the rules which govern either church marriage or civil marriage. When you cross from civil to customary, then you are bound to have a problem.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So in the context of your question, the pastor you are referring to, I'm told, I've not seen the marriage certificate anyway, that at one point he contracted the church marriage. Which is, by its nature, is monogamous. Monogamous in the sense that one wife,
one husband.
One husband. I said it before, I've not seen the marriage certificate.
Yes.
Assuming, indeed, he contracted a church marriage at one point, and the marriage is still subsisting, the mere fact that, well, it is in public knowledge that they are in court trying to go through the divorce.
Yes.
So there's an assumption that indeed there was a marriage. So as long as the marriage is still subsisting, as court has not pronounced itself that the civil marriage or church marriage that you contracted, one man, one woman, has come to an end, whatever you do by crossing to Islamic marriage, crossing to customary marriage, in my view, is a waste of time. It's
a waste of time. Are you sure?
Yeah, because
so say for instance, if I'm the second woman in this case, and we had children and have spent a substantial amount of time together, and say for instance, the husband in this case scenario passes away, I have no legal standing to claim anything as a second wife? No, but this is Dante. I'm asking. After you have taken me for a customary marriage, and say there was a first wife who was taken to church, say something happened to him, am I entitled to any inheritance as a wife? Am I noticed? Am I recognized? Thank you.
No, the most important thing is the question of whether you are a wife is very, very important.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't matter how long you have been with the
yes.
with the gentleman. Could be a girlfriend, concubine. Yes, the reality is that He's married, he has his legal wife, okay? Now, when you bring the question of am I recognized, that also takes us to another big topic of distribution of matrimonial property.
Yes.
You may have 10 children, whether you are recognized by who is another question. Yes, of course there are rights which accrue to couples by virtue of being married. Okay. What we'll consider in such cases are the rights of the children, for example. The children, regardless of how they are conceived, they have their rights. They'll be entitled to benefit in the estate if their father passes on. Yeah, their rights is not compromised anyway. They're entitled to a share of the estate. For you, the girlfriend, if I may call it.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It's a girlfriend.
I don't know how to classify you as a girlfriend or because you are not a wife.
Wow.
Okay?
You're breaking relationships.
That is not a
this
wife.
morning. You're not.
No, that's the law.
So,
That's the law.
Counsel, so what are the proceedings of divorce? Because not a lot of people in Uganda actually take divorce quite seriously. They just separate and go their own ways, but never legally conclude it. Why is that so?
I think some could be out of ignorance. Yeah. Yes, could be out of ignorance and maybe the cost of the divorce. Yeah, because if you have contracted a civil marriage, it is only court that has powers to divorce. Because marriage is an activity conducted by the church on behalf of the state, on behalf of government. So it is only the state machineries through the court system that can separate the parties or conduct the divorce. The divorce can only be done through a court process, like if you have conducted civil marriage. So in that case, the reason why people don't look into it, as I said, could be out of ignorance. One, ignorance, and the second one could be the cost. Okay? The cost associated with the divorce process. When you go to court, you need a lawyer. And it's also a fact that lawyers are quite expensive.
That's
and
true.
it's world over.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question, Counsel. Like,
Yes.
if I'm married in church, and women out there, if he wants to marry, let him take you to church. Anyone he brings after that, as you had the counsel, you are a girlfriend, regardless. So always go there if that's what, if you want to be secure and everything, go there first. But I'm getting that if it's in a customary setting, customary marriage, since it's polygamous by nature, then you can introduce many people, right?
Yes, you can marry as many as you can.
Yeah.
Customary marriage. But if that is to be recognized, you shouldn't be married.
In church.
At the time you go for customary marriage,
Yes.
you should not be married in the first place.
Yeah.
If, for example, initially you contracted a civil marriage, if you decide to go for customary marriage, you must ensure that the civil marriage has gone through the divorce process, and you have the final divorce decree from court to confirm that, yes, you are divorced. That way you can then proceed to contract a customary marriage or any other kind of marriage recognized by the laws of Uganda.
My other question is that why is it that church marriages reign over every other type of marriage in this country, and why is that so?
I wouldn't agree with you from the legal point of view. If you come to me with a married or related or divorce-related issue, my question will be whether you are married. Once you are married, in the back of my mind, I know, well, the laws of Uganda recognize all forms of marriages. But the reason why maybe there is more acceptance of the church marriage, one is there is a communal involvement. You want people to participate in your marriage, okay, to accept it. And two, Uganda is a religious country by average standard, so you want to get the blessings from church.
Yes.
Yeah, you also want people to know that you are married. And the other bit is that most ladies, even if you have gone through the customary marriage, some may not actually think that they are married. So, no, he has not taken me to church, because sometimes they come and you ask, are you married? No, all we did was kushala. I think that is in Uganda. Okay, after that, did they take bride price and all that? Depending on the tribe of the lady or the culture. You discover that this person is actually married. but thinks is not married, just because it is customary marriage.
Yes. And she has
Now-
every right to be concerned.
Yeah, just for the reason that you are concerned for the reason that customary marriage by its nature is polygamous.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
whereas today you may be the lady, tomorrow you can come up with another one, and next one, and add.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
then
Yeah.
I would wonder if I stayed at, let's say, my boyfriend's house for, let's say, 2 years, doesn't still make me his wife?
Even if you stay for 20 years. And then if you have 10 children
Shivan.
or 20, doesn't matter.
So it doesn't fall under customary, it doesn't fall under any sort of marriage, whether you have stayed with him even for 20 years, it doesn't make him your husband, it doesn't make you his wife.
Well, we have that
Because I was
mistake.
reading it in Parliament.
No,
Cohabiting.
it is not. It's not. You must go through the actual marriage rituals. If you want to go through the church marriage, you can only say you are married in church after you have gone to church and you have been, wedded by a church minister. If you are going through the customary marriage, you must actually perform the customs of the lady.
Yeah.
Because with the customary marriage is the customs of the lady which count.
Yes, yeah.
So just because you have stayed with someone for 10 years, you have 10 children, does not
Doesn't-
make you
The wife.
a wife.
Oh my
And
goodness.
let's
So that is
yes.
something which is very, very important.
I'm curious about divorce, actually. It's, I've heard that if you want a divorce, yeah, they don't like issue you a divorce immediately. They actually have to take at least 2 years mediation, depending on your reasons for wanting a divorce. Is that correct?
Just like any other, marriage is a very serious undertaking.
Yeah.
Okay, you take many years courting, take many years organizing the process. It would be wrong to wake up one day and say, now me I want the divorce, and end there. What is misleading people is too much of the movies we watch. Signed divorce papers. I want signed divorce papers. Someone comes to you and say, I want signed divorce papers. Now, I am not interested in these properties. Divorce papers. No, we don't have anything like that. You must go through a formal process. First of all, you must have reasons for divorce.
And what are
What
the
if you don't
reasons?
love them
Yeah.
anymore?
What are the reasons for
Yeah,
divorce
that's a very good
accepted by
question.
court?
Yes, just because you are annoyed with your husband, didn't buy you a birthday present, does not make you say, now I want the divorce.
It depends.
It doesn't matter. You must have what is called legal grounds for
Yeah.
divorce. One is the adultery.
Okay.
With
proof? Do you have
definitely,
to have
when you go out to
Just
go to court,
insinuation.
screenshots? You have to have
yeah,
proof.
when you eventually go to court, you have a burden of proof. You have
Yes,
to prove
yeah.
to court that yes, this man or this woman cheated on me with this, and sometimes you find that they have a child together. You don't need any other evidence to be able to prove that there was a sexual intercourse between these two people before a child was conceived. Adultery, that's one. Cruelty. Cruelty could be physical or emotional. Okay. And the third one is desertion, where, say, your husband just disappears one day, you don't know where he has gone, does not tell you where he is, no contact at all, for a period of 2 years. Then you are allowed to, you're allowed to go through, to apply to court for divorce on that ground. Okay. Now, you go to court, you must go through the court process. You file today. Court will not just assume that you are right. They will ask you to serve the other party with their court documents.
Now, how do you serve someone who has deserted you?
Now, there's another legal process. If the person has deserted you, you have no contact with him or her, then you go to court for permission to advertise the court summon in the newspaper. Okay? He's given 15 days to respond. If he or she does not respond, then you go back to court and say, well, I have no contact. I've tried to look for this person. Please hear me out alone. And then court will. It is also not obvious, just because the other party has not responded, then your case is okay. No, you must still prove that, yes, he committed adultery, or he deserted me, or he has been cruel. Yeah.
How about in the instance, can you have a marriage dissolved without the other party being present? Do they have to be there to sign as well?
Can't. No. As I said, if, for example, sometimes the person is actually available, but is not interested. Said, okay, we have seen it. We said, okay, I did not involve court when I was marrying you. If you want a divorce, sort yourself, but I'm not going to appear. Yes, so what you have to ensure that you show court that you have tried to serve him with the court papers. He has ignored, then court will allow to hear you out alone.
Okay.
Now, in that process, you have to prove that indeed you meet the end of the grounds for divorce.
All right.
Once you do that, court will proceed to grant the divorce.
What of in extreme cases whereby, talking of cruelty, yeah? And we have heard of women, or mostly women, who die at the hands of their husbands, yeah? In that case, what happens? Does court issue you an immediate divorce, or you still have to go through the process?
What do you mean when someone dies? Because if you're already dead,
No.
you can't go to court.
Like if your life is in danger, yeah? There have been instances where women have faced extreme domestic violence. Can the court...
You know, you have to understand that court goes with the principle of fair hearing, okay? You may go to court and allege all those lies. It may be lies. Court has to give the other party a chance to defend him or herself.
Yes.
Okay.
And if he does not show up to defend himself, then you prove your case alone. And when court is satisfied with their ground for divorce, then they'll guide and grant it.
So, Counsel, my last question to you is, you hinted on something about registration of marriages, and that is absolutely, I believe, very important. But in the cases of where some people get involved with, first of all, I would like to ask, does the URSB have these registered marriages out for public viewing? Say, for instance, if you want to investigate if the man who is talking to you and telling you sweet nothings is married, are you able to go and actually check and see if he's still married?
Yeah, you can't check if he has ever contracted a marriage and registered it with the URSB.
Yes.
Upon payment of such fees, to be around 30,000, 25. Don't have the exact figure, but you have to pay some money.
Okay.
Then they will conduct a search in their database and they give you a written response. The challenge is, Uganda, we have similar names. You may go to check Kabugo Joseph, and we have 1,000 Kabugo Josephs in the database.
Yes.
So how are you going to be satisfied that there is Kabugo Joseph you are checking is the one?
And there's specifications in the certificate, like say date of birth, occupancy,
picture,
residence. Are there pictures actually? That is very important. Are there pictures?
Yes, but if you have something to compare with, it's a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have some documents to compare with, maybe identification document,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, or maybe photos, and then you write to find out whether that person is married. But again, that is not enough, okay? The person may be married when it is not in the system.
Okay.
Because you see, we have different forms of marriages. For
Yeah.
example, with the customary marriage, ideally after going through the process at the lady's home, the marriage is supposed to be registered within 6 months, okay? However, non-registration does not invalidate the marriage.
This is very confusing.
So
Why is that so?
You go for customary marriage in some village where your lady comes from, and you're off. And then, ideally, the people are supposed to push for registration should be the parent of the girl,
yes.
because you're supposed to register at the sub-county
Yeah.
where the marriage was conducted. But there's a challenge usually, sometimes, people may not know, ignorance of the law. People may not know they need to register, and even when they know they need to register, they may say, if I register, if we relax, we shall never go to church. So the lady would relax, even to push her parents to have the marriage registered. Okay? So for you have gone to Gulu, you stay in Kisoro, you have contracted the customary marriage in Gulu, ideally supposed to be registered at sub-county where the marriage was celebrated. But how are you going to move from Kisoro to ensure that is done, even when you know? So you're likely to rely on the
family that side.
The family that side, yes. And the family that side may also relax and say, now if we give him some document, he may never take our daughter to church.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but as I said, even if you don't register it within a period of 6 months, the marriage itself is not invalidated. So the person remains married, customary marriage.
Okay.
Now, if you go to URSB to conduct a search, they'll tell you, according to our records, okay, so-and-so is not married. However, this does not mean that he did not contract marriage somewhere, like customary marriage. So it is not conclusive.
All right.
Yes, but if in that case, once you have that document, you are convinced that yes, now chances are high, he has not contracted civil marriage. That is left with customary marriage. The question is, maybe if you have a reason to believe that he has ever contracted some marriage with someone, then you have to go extra mile to go to the lady's village and find out if indeed. Yes, there was.
So, okay, as we wrap up, Counsel, any parting shots? Where can they find you if anybody needs any divorce advice or marriage advice? How can they find you?
Yes, just to start with the correction, the law firm is Angualia and Company Advocates.
Yes.
Yes, we sit at BMK House, 4th floor, room 402. BMK is next to Hotel Africana. Yes. And indeed, you use the same entrance.
Yes.
To Hotel Africana.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Counsel, for gracing our set and joining us today on Sunrise at Sea. And there you had it. Marriage is a very, very serious thing. You don't just go in anyhow and just leave as you please. You need to, put a lot into consideration before you get yourself into a marriage, because getting out of it may be a very difficult thing. When they say until death does us apart, they literally mean that. So take caution. Well, that's all we had for you on this segment of our views. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea. Good morning. Well, I hope you had a great time with us right here on Sunrise at Sea. Keep watching CTV until tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Don't blink and keep on watching CTV, because coming after Sunrise at Sea is a movie, and then Team Cash will be coming in at 11 a.m. with the mid-morning party. You don't want to miss that. From me and the ladies right here at Sunrise at Sea, have a great day. Be blessed. Wear your mask. Social distance. Sanitize. Be careful, be vigilant. Until tomorrow, until next week, actually, Monday, until Monday, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.